Hello, cozy friends. It's Melissa, and I am doing an envelope pillow this morning. So thank you for joining me. I've picked out some fabric. I have Frivolity. This is one of my favorite collections. I believe it's by Fire Road or Sweet Fire Road, Moda. And I just love this, and I just think it would be really perfect. I know fall's not here, we're just getting into spring, but it's good to plan ahead. And I know a lot of you quilters like to plan ahead. So I was thinking that this would be really fun. So this is gonna be the front. I've cut this about 19 by 19 because I want it to be an 18 by 18 pillow. So I wanted to give myself a little extra room for seam allowance. So the front is gonna be this. And then I cut two smaller pieces because this is going to be an envelope pillow. So the nice thing about the envelopes is that you don't have to have zippers and things like that. So if you're afraid of working with zippers, this is a really good alternative. So the first thing that we're going to do, I've already cut these, but I need to create a hem that's going to be where these two pieces overlap each other. And in order to do that, I'm going to fold over just a small amount. And there's really not a ton of precision that has to go into it. Like some precision just to make it look nice is there, but you know, that's why it's really good for a beginner. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of push these down, the hems down a little bit so I can fold, and then I'm gonna iron these. Ready? So dimensions on these, because I said this one is 19 by 19 for the front. So for the back, you want two pieces, and I really gave myself a lot of wiggle room on the back. So like this one, this is actually, let's see, that one is 19 by 14. So there's gonna be a lot of overlap, which I kind of like because it gives me a little bit of extra space and security, so it makes me feel comfortable. Let's see, so that one's 19 by 9. So either way, it's going to work out because there's going to be that overlap, and it gives me some room so I can have my folds. So how you do you, and if you wanted to, you can always piece. I didn't piece for this one because this is just a quick and easy project. I mean, the really fun thing about these is these are really easy, but if you wanted to do a panel like I did with the ones that I posted earlier, you can. Or you could do patchwork, you could do blocks, lots of fun options. I'm gonna hop over to the iron and I'm gonna create my hems. So I'm going to fold these over and iron these hems down so that I can just sew a straight line. One folded and ironed hem, second folded and ironed hem. So as you can see, this hem is a lot longer, but that's because I gave myself so much extra overlap. So I didn't have to be like super fussy over how precise my hems are. So now that I just have those ironed, I'm going to pick a seam that I want to do. Okay, so I'm just doing a straight stitch. Okay. I love how fast the Bernina is and how smooth that is. That was just so easy. All right, so here I've got one part of the back of my envelope ready. So that's there. The other hem is ready to be stitched. A straight stitch, but if you are like, I really want to make sure I have a lot of security, you could do something a little bit more like an overlock or okay. I love the automatic thread cutter. All right, so and then of course I am just using the regular Aurifil thread on this. I could have change the color, but because this is on the back, I'm not that particular about this coloring, but I really like how it's turning out so far. What do you think? Okay, so now we're ready to pin the backs to the front. All right, so we're gonna be sewing all of the pieces together and they need to be inside out. So the nice thing about the envelope is that it's going to create its own pocket for you to be able to turn it right side out once you have pieced it all together. So what I'm gonna do, I have this, so I want the wrong sides to be facing me because I think this is like the most confusing part. So you want the hems to face in towards each other. And it feels backwards in my mind because in my mind, I'm like, oh, the wrong sides should be facing away from me, but actually they're facing towards you. So I'm gonna have the two hem pieces that I sewed together, they're gonna go in towards each other. And then I have to kind of figure out in my placement, which one do I want? Do I want one to be on the outside? I mean, I kind of played around with this because it's on the back. I was like, oh, I could do all just this green and pink, but I wanted it to be a little bit more playful because this Frivolity line just has the prettiest fabric and I really wanted to be able to show that fabric off. So I wanted to have two different backs instead of just having one. So I'm trying to decide which one I want. I think I like the green folding over. So that's going to go there. We're just gonna line those up. All right. So those are facing in towards the pillow. Now I gotta turn this one. So this one is gonna face away from me because it's facing inside. Now the real question is, we are gonna pin these together so that it doesn't move on me, especially since I'm moving back over to the sewing machine. I have to decide, do I want to pin or clip? I don't know, what do you think? Do you like pins or clips better? And that's kind of where it's nice to give yourself a little bit extra on your overlaps on the back, is that you can kind of play with it. So that's kind of where I was talking about like this being a really nice project for beginners because your cutting doesn't have to be super precise. So I've got my clips. I probably have a little bit more than I really need for it, but it's better to have more than you need than not enough, just like fabric. So we're gonna move back on over. So here we are again at the lovely sewing machine. All right. With pillows or with home decor bags, you're not gonna see the traditional 1/4 seam allowance. Sometimes you see 5/8, but you do you, boo. Whatever you're feeling. I'm a vibes only kind of sewer. Like I am like whatever I'm feeling for the moment. I like the idea of doing 1/4 seam allowance because it gives me really good practice on straight edges. But the Bernina definitely makes it a lot easier to do that with the dual feed. All right, I have it on hover mode, so that means that the foot presser is kind of popped up just a little bit, but that needle is still in there holding my material down. It's a really good option on this machine to have that hover mode so that I can easily turn and I'm able to just continue the sewing because we're just sewing all 4 edges all the way around. Okay. One thing I didn't do right away that is a really good tip for if you're doing pillows or sometimes with clothing, once you've gotten your 4 corners, to clip that corner here so that you can get those nice tucks. Otherwise that fabric will fold in on itself and you'll kind of get that yucky we're ready for the reveal. You'll get that yucky like flump of the corners and we don't like that. So you can go in and you can cut those little edges so you can get a nice sharp point, but really that's not too bad. It's got a little bit of it, but I'll go back later and clip all those so it has that nice crisp edge. And I think what I'll do is I'm gonna go back now that I've gotten the pillow sewn together. I'm gonna go back over my stitching with a cover stitch just to give it a little bit extra security, because if I do take this home, I know my children, they are gonna sit and they are gonna love on it, and I want them to have that. And so I want something that's gonna be a little bit stronger to support my children and my husband, because I think this is adorable. So I really like it. I hope you guys had fun with me there's the pillow, and then that's the envelope. So you can see it just overlaps. So there's enough of an overlap so that the pillow is going to be nice and hidden. And you could have a lot of fun with it. If you're like, you know what, I could do a button on the back, or you could do Velcro. Or if you really wanted to, you could go back and you could add a zipper as another way to kind of add and practice some new techniques in kind of a low stakes project. But anyway, thank you for being here today, and thanks for coming along with me on my sewing journey.